the online charity podcast festival to raise money for comic relief this year. Now, every penny of the money raised will be going directly to comic relief and helping to tackle important issues such as hunger, homelessness, mental health stigma and domestic abuse, all of which have been seriously impacted during the COVID-19 pandemic. If you can donate at all you need to do is visit www.superpod.co.uk and click the donate button to be taken directly to the Just Giving page. Also, don't forget to say yes to gift aid so that the government will pop their hands in their pockets too. If you'd like to keep in touch and tell us what you think, just use the hashtag SuperPod3 or comment directly on the live stream. Without further ado, I'd now like to introduce our next sketch to you. Now, celebrities play an important role during comic relief in raising awareness and cash, and in this sketch I play the important role of a celebrity. It was written by one of our Release the Clown's producers, Nick Hildred, and it's called, quite simply, Celebrities Are Better Than You. I hope you enjoy it! Bye!
Welcome back to Celebrities Are Better Than You. Before the break, we threw Shag Island's Brandy Smith into the deep end of advanced brain surgery. Now, she's only got 48 hours to learn a technique that it took Chief Surgeon Sir William Hampton 20 years to perfect.
Now, our patient is Stephen Andrews, Professor of Classics at Trinity College, Cambridge, and he has a benign tumour.
Probably got it from thinking too much. Stupid egghead.
Yes. Thank you, Brandy. The tumour is located here in the parietal lobe. Fortunately, it isn't buried too deep, so it should be fairly straightforward to remove.
Yeah, whatever. Let's get on with it.
It's fine if you need more time to practice, Brandy.
It's all right, Billy boy. I'll pick it up. I'm very good with my hands. Just look how I've done my nails.
Yes, lovely. But seriously, we can delay up to a month to get you up to speed.
Enough? I'm not hanging around this gloomy dump for a month. I'm on a bikini shoot in Ibiza next week.
2 days later, and after extensive training on watermelons, Brandy is ready for the op.
So we've administered the local anaesthetic. Can you feel when I press here, Professor?
No, nothing at all.
What? He'll be awake while I'm digging around in his brain?
Yes, Brandy. In these procedures, talking to the patient can be vital.
Oh, that's disgusting!
Right. Now I'll just cut through the skull.
Oh, no. Oh, my God. Oh, thank God that's over. I thought I was going to puke.
And now I lift this section of skull away.
Oh no. Oh, here comes that doner I had for lunch.
Gently slice through and peel back the protective membrane. Excellent. The tumour is clearly visible. So, Brandy, it's now up to you to carefully cut it out.
Okay, Min.
Nurse, could you wipe the vomit off her chin, please? Don't want it dripping into the patient. How are you doing, Professor?
Fine. Are you sure this is safe?
Don't you worry, my lover. On Shag Island, I managed to win a game of Operation when I had the trots and 10 tequila slammers in me.
So if you could talk about something familiar to you, Professor, that would be helpful.
Oh, all right. I feel that the Roman Emperor Commodus is someone whom Hollywood has very much maligned down the years.
Okay, Brandy, take the scalpel and carefully cut right here.
Right, okay, no props. Like this?
Yes, that's it. Carefully. No, not like that.
When he dressed up as a pumpkin and ordered hamsters to invade Britain.
Oh, that's not good.
What? I got it out. What more do you want?
Hum flum jum lorem ipsum dollar sit amet. Nero's panties.
Oh, right. No, prep him for a general. I'm going to have to go in and see what I can save.
Right, job done. I'm off to a club. How do you feel, my love?
I do pee-pee.
Great! Dirty bastard. Right, laters!
Yes, with just a few days training, Brandy has successfully completed her first major up. Join us next week when Danny Dyer attempts nuclear fusion in his sink. And remember, celebrities are better than you.
Hello? Oh, Barry, I don't know if you're on mute or if my headphones are being a tit. Good start, lads. Barry? I was also expecting Al here, so apologies to everybody for this incredibly unprofessional opening. Okay, I can't hear anything.
Hello.
Can't hear you, Al. Can't hear you.
Hello.
That might help.
Ah, there you go. Hello.
I turned my thing down to stop an echo when the video was playing, and then forgot to turn it back up again afterwards.
Well
So,
done.
Can anyone hear me?
yes, I can hear you, Barry.
Oh, awesome.
I can't hear Barry.
Can't you?
It might be, but you can hear me, Stacey.
I can hear you, can't hear Barry.
You can hear Barry. That really
Great.
That's odd.
Let me try to.
Did we break it? How brilliant. I'm so great at live streaming stuff.
How about now?
Barry?
No.
Why can't you hear Barry? This is weird.
I don't know. This is going to be a really short episode of Stace and Barry at this rate.
Yeah.
Stace and no one in the morning.
Am I going to have to act as a go-between?
I know.
You can't hear Barry, but Barry can hear me, and you can hear me. Then I'll pass the messages.
Utterly baffling.
Are we actually live right now?
We are live right now.
Sorry.
Oh, and apparently they can hear me in the stream.
It's just Stacey that can't hear you.
This is phenomenal. How is that even possible? Oh no, I'm so sorry. Of course it's me that's broken everything. Of course it is, because I am a technical nightmare. It's literally just me that can't hear Barry. Fantastic. I don't even know what I could try and do in this sense to like diddle with settings and whatevs. I've got nothing.
Oh, no.
Well, okay. Putting my IT head on. Should we both leave and then come back in?
Let me try turning you guys off and back on again, just to see if that helps at all.
Hello?
Say some words, B.
I'm saying words. I just did.
Well, that didn't work.
No.
If you wanna leave and then try and come back.
Okay, how do I do that? Right, there's the leave button. Bye.
Yeah. Everyone who's listening, welcome to Stace and Barry in the morning. With just Barry in the morning right now, but that's okay. Hello. I'm guessing that blank look tells me from Stace she still can't hear me. Oh no, you can hear me.
Woo! Oh my gosh, what a brilliant start! Hey, how are we like half an hour in now?
Are we done? So that was Stace and Barry in the morning. Thanks everyone for joining. Yay! Great. That was a great episode. Best we've done
Hats
yet.
off to us. Hats off to us
Yeah.
for a
And
classic Stace and
we've raised 100 grand for comic relief. Who knew? I'm like the Lenny Henry of podcasting now.
Definitely. Right. So I think we were supposed to have an introduction from Al before we actually started, 30 years ago. So take it away, Al.
All I was going to say is, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to SuperPod 3. Returning after a bit of an absence last year is Stacey Taylor, who, for the very first SuperPod, was there for most of it. She came down from Birmingham to Southampton, and it was wonderful, and we loved having her here. Couldn't have her on SuperPod 2020 last year, but because of the way this has happened, we're all doing it in our own homes. Everyone from around the world can take part. So Stacey's back and has brought Barry along with her. So thank you, Barry, for coming along and joining us. And ladies and gentlemen, enjoy a little bit of Stace and Barry in the morning. I shall bow out and leave you to it.
Thank you very much, Al. Good morning, everybody. Yeah, we're online and everything's working. I'm so happy. Welcome
Stace and Barry. Morning.
Yeah, that. I was just going to sing as well.
Oh.
Sorry, I'll stop dancing now. Welcome to Stace and Barry in the Morning, Season 3, Episode 6, coming at you live from my spare room that I realised I probably should have sorted the shelves a bit on, because you can very clearly see 2 big bottles of whiskey. I am not on whiskey yet. It's only 10:10. Don't worry. I'm the Stace half of Stace and Barry, and he's the Barry half. Hi, Barry.
I could have said I'm the bottom half of Stacey, but that would sound wrong.
No, don't say that.
I know. And I feel like, because I was looking at the guys that were on before, and I feel like I've completely lost like geek points, because they've all got all these kind of lovely things all on walls and stuff like that, and I've literally got I've got a printer. And I felt so bad that in the like seconds before we went live, I quickly grabbed Dr. Henry Jones just so I could stick him on the printer, just that would make my room look a little bit more geeky. But I do have geeky stuff around me. It's just that you can't see. Look.
It is good. I hadn't noticed that at all, because previously your head was entirely in the way of it. So
I know, which is just rubbish. It's just rubbish. I apologise. I can only apologise.
Look, you're wearing a Yoda t-shirt, so we'll let you off.
Which, again, I didn't realise until 5 minutes before that this was going to be going out as a video. I thought, it's great. It'll be an audio podcast. Don't worry about it. And then you were sort of going, I hope my video works. I was like, what? So I ran back inside to grab the first geeky t-shirt I could find to throw on to come back out, because that's the kind of level of podcasting that I kind of subscribe to.
It's good. You could have at least combed your hair though, mate. I mean, jeez. I'm kidding.
What's that about?
Sorry. Hey, I'm debuting my new Moonbeamers t-shirt, which is a cartoon that everybody forgets exists, and it is terrible, but I used to love it as a kid, so I'll wear it on my boobs. I don't mind. Hey, shall we do a segment?
Before this goes really, really wrong.
Okay, here comes pick of the fortnight's theme tune a la me today. Bit of daytime there for you. Barry.
Yes.
What's your pick of the fortnight this fortnight, Bab?
My did you just call me Bab?
I did, yeah. It's very, very brummy of me. I'm sorry.
I don't think anyone's ever called me Bab before. I've been called a lot of other things that you won't go into, but I've never been called Bab before. My pick of the fortnight is a weird one, because it's kind of going way back into time. So I started about a month ago. I've started doing a rewatch of the Marvel films.
Ooh.
But the twist is I'm watching them in timeline order.
Okay.
Thanks to Disney. Thank you, Disney. This podcast is not sponsored by Disney Plus. If it was, I would have a lot more money in my bank account. So Yeah. So I've been doing the Marvel rewatch, and what we've been doing is me and my wife Sue is every Sunday we've been watching a Marvel film. And it's great. I recommend it. Obviously, if you like Marvel. If you don't like Marvel, then okay. So last Sunday we did Iron Man 2 and we did 4. And why are you laughing?
You just picked like 2 of the worst ones, but go ahead.
No. See, no. Iron Man. Don't get me wrong. Iron Man 2 was alright, but I remember the first time around thinking 4 was okay. But I've got to say, I enjoyed it a lot more the second time around. I don't know what it was about it, but I enjoyed it so much more second time around. And that, God damn it, is why it's my pick of the fortnight, because I enjoyed it so much. And I don't like what they've done with Thor going forward, because they've made him a bit of a comedy buffoon. That's just me. That's my hill, and I'm going to die on it with a hammer.
Nice. I don't know that I want to get into this then, because I love what they did with Thor, and the reason that he's not funny in the first one is pretty much the reason I don't really like that film. I think it's well boring.
Because he's not supposed to be funny. No, he's not supposed to be funny. Don't get me wrong. I still like those films. I still like Thor as a character, and some of the one-liners he drops are funny, but I was just surprised by how much I still enjoyed that first film. Second time around. You're just going.
I'm just going because I'm just wondering how much to say, because I don't want to poop on your pick of the fortnight. Because me and Rich just did a big Marvel rewatch, but we did it in release order, not like actual chronological filmy timeline order. And so we've quite recently watched Thor, and I'll be honest, I don't really remember it, and that's kind of how I feel about it. Like, I know it's not like, by no means is it a pants film, but but it's just like in the overall ranking of Marvel movies, I would put it definitely in the lower half. For me personally, just because I think it's kind of dull, and I don't know if it's because as well, given the sort of spectacle of like Asgard and everything, it feels to me like it should be more like whoa, and it's not so much. Maybe that's just me. I don't know.
Okay.
See, this is why I didn't want to say anything.
to be fair,
I'm glad you like it.
Fair, I wasn't inviting comment. I was just like,
Sorry.
That's fine. If you don't like it, that's fine, Stace. What's your pick of the fortnight?
My pick of the fortnight. Well, I wanted to give an honourable mention first, because I really wanted to pick the WandaVision finale. But with this being a live show and it only having been out like a week, I thought there's no way I can talk about that without spoiling its undercrackers right off. So I decided, hey, don't pick that and spoil it for everybody, because that would be not a great move. So instead, I chose a book, because I am in the middle of my bookworm challenge. So I am reading like a fiend, and I just read a book called, now I'm looking at my notes because I always get this the wrong way around for some reason, The 100,000 Kingdoms by N.K. Jemisin. I'm looking at you, B, as though you might have read it. Don't know.
No. Although I've had, and now I've realised the connection. So Dave, who I do another podcast with, that I'm not going to do a cheap plug now, we were recording this week, and he was talking about a book called The Fifth Season.
Yeah.
Right, now as he was talking about it, I kept thinking, I'm sure someone's told me about this before, and it suddenly just come to me that it was you. It was
me. Yeah, it was.
And it's by the same author, isn't it?
It is indeed, yes. So this was her debut novel back in like 2010, I think. Because I picked up the 5th season. Well, I say I picked it up. I was gifted the 5th season by my good friend Mike, who was running my social media today. So hello, social media Mike.
Social media Mike. Whoop, whoop.
Whoop, whoop. Yeah, he gifted me the whole trilogy for my birthday, and I've like squaffle through it super fast because it's really flipping good. So I was like, well, I'm just going to buy everything that N.K. Jemisin has ever written now. She's currently writing a really great run on Green Lantern for DC Comics. But I picked this book up because I was like, hey, it's the start of another trilogy. Let's see, and it's a debut novel. Let's see, if anything if it's as good and like blah blah blah. And it's phenomenal. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's a fantasy novel, sort of about a girl coming into an inheritance that she might not necessarily want. It's set in this amazing sort of floating sky castle of like gorgeous white marble, but like everything's not quite as it seems type thing. Even though this is from 2010, I'm really trying to tiptoe and dance around spoilers because I just really don't want to ruin it for anybody who might want to pick it up. But it's the kind of book that even though it's quite dense with world building, it kept me wrapped. It's 410 pages. It's like quite a small font, so that's a lot of stuff, and I read it within a day. Because I was just like constantly like I'd put it down and I'd be like, no, I'll just read another chapter. I want to know what happens next. And then put it down, and then at one point I even took it to the toilet with me, which Rich thought was disgusting. But what else was I going to do on the toilet? Like fart on my phone? I may as well read this really good book. But one of the go on.
No, that's fine. I had a toilet response and then I thought better of it and thought I'm gonna park that. I'm gonna leave that. I'm not gonna do the toilet response. You go, girl. You be you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. Well, one of the things I wanted to sort of bring up as well was I read an interview with N.K. Jemisin in The Guardian from, I think, a year or so ago, where she was talking about how her approach to fantasy is a bit different to a lot of other authors because as a black woman, she was saying that like a lot of fantasy is about restoring the status quo, like, getting the rightful heir onto the throne or, throwing the ring into the mountain so that everything goes back to normal. But of course, she said for her, like, she's not interested in the status quo because the status quo is pretty crap actually for like, women and people of colour and other minorities, in terms of sexuality and blah, blah, blah. So she was like, actually, a lot of the books that I write, I want to write them from the perspective of like, what if we effed some stuff up? Like, what if we took that status quo and we binned it and we said, hey, let's do something else instead? And that's one of the things that I really like about her style of writing is that it's very much like, it's very much coming at it from a point of view of let's make some changes and sort stuff out. But it's not necessarily always easy. It's cracking. Absolutely, like all of my thumbs up. That's both of them too. Yeah.
Nice. So before we, because I've been looking, there's a stream of consciousness going on to my right-hand side from the audience, and we've had a donation that says an anonymous donation for £10 because I forgot to mention at the beginning that obviously we are doing this for comic relief, and we've had a tenner for people who are listening in other parts of the world. That means £10. That didn't sound derogatory at all. So yeah, big love, big thanks for your anonymous donation. And George made a comment to say also Thor doesn't learn anything in the film because nobody tells him why his hammer doesn't work, and then it kind of just does. So the whole thing is kind of pointless. Still entertaining though. I could answer that, but I don't know if we've got time for my 2-hour response to, because what he
go on, you can do it.
It's difficult without spoiling it, but I think it's the decisions. He doesn't know how the hammer works. He's not supposed to know. It's because of his actions that make the hammer work for him in the end. And what he does, I can't say without spoiling it, but what he does, which is what makes the hammer work again, he does it knowing that the hammer probably won't work, if that makes sense. It's a selfless act. He doesn't expect to get anything from it, and getting the hammer out of it is just a bonus. Obviously, given what happens, it would be a particularly short movie if he didn't get the hammer at that point, and
Yeah.
going forward, there probably would be no more 4 films really. So yeah. If people want to know more, they can listen to my 24-part series, why 4, the first movie works better than people think it does. Come into a podcast never at any time.
I was just going to say it definitely won't be happening on Stace and Barry in the morning.
No,
in the future.
fairly consistent. It's not going to happen then. Hit me with some trumpets, girl.
Oh, well, before I do, I just wanted to say to people that if you want to keep this Stace and Barry donation bump going, which I very much do, because I want to look like we did the absolute best in terms of donations for the show, go to superpod.co.uk and click the donate button. If you've got any dosh, it doesn't matter how much. I can tell you as somebody who works for a charity that even a couple of quid can make a massive difference. And especially with charities like Comic Relief that have got their fingers in all sorts of different very good pies. Just whatever you can. And if you can't give anything, that's absolutely fine, but share that link, get everybody you know to see that donation link. It will make a massive difference to people across the globe. And now for some trumpets. Bit of Chemical Plant there for you from Sonic the Hedgehog.
Nice.
Hope you enjoyed it. I never realised how stupid I look when I do the trumpets because I'm not normally on the video. Fantastic.
If it helps with my imagination, you looked far more stupid than you. So you don't look stupid, Stace. You're rocking it. You're rocking it. I'd like to say to George that yes, I will be doing a TED talk on 4.
Great. I mean, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely watch that with both of my eyes.
I don't believe you.
Barry, what did I just do trumpets for? Come on now.
Saturday morning comics?
Yeah, go on then. I haven't got any. Your turn.
Damn it. So my Saturday morning comic today is I've now read 3 volumes in 2 sittings, which should show you how much I've been enjoying this comic. It's called Irredeemable. Have you heard of this?
Okay. I think I've read a bit of it.
Yeah, it's from Boom Studios. It's by, he says, looking at his notes, Mark Wade, arts by Peter Krause and Diego Barreto. I'm sure I said that wrong.
Burrito?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm sure I said that wrong. The series follows the fall of the world's greatest superhero, the Plutonian, as he begins his slaughtering the population of Earth. His former allies, the superhero group, the Paradigm, attempt to find a way to stop his rampage. Attempt to find a way to stop his rampage while dealing with their own problems of betrayal and hopelessness. So apparently this kicked off in April 2009, so way back in the day. Dave's been recommending me to read this for a while, and I think I read the first issue a couple of years ago and quite enjoyed it, but for some reason never went back to it. And I started reading it again, I think last week, because they've got, I think, the first 10 or 12 volumes on Kindle Unlimited, of which I have a subscription to. So I picked up and I've been loving it. I don't know why I'm loving it so much, given the fact how bleak it is, because effectively it is what if Superman went completely just lost the plot. He just completely lost the plot, and not in a. So if you watch The Boys or read The Boys, so you've obviously got Homelander, and people sort of go, "Oh, Homelander is like the evil Superman." Nope. This is like the Plutonian's like holding my beer. I'm going to show you how it's done, because he does not mess about. And I would like to call Volume 1 with a subtitle "Running for Your Goddamn Lives." Because it is effectively, if Superman went bad, and then it's the Justice League just trying to stay one step ahead of him. And it is that thing of, as Dave was saying, how do you stay one step ahead of someone who can hear you from across the world, who can see through anything, is indestructible. and he's invulnerable and stuff like that. And it's all about dealing with that. And it's really interesting because when you get into sort of volume 2, you start to get into some of the reasons why he's gone bad. And it's a lot more nuanced than I thought it was going to be. And I think whenever it's normally done, it always turns out to be someone's given him some magic crystal or they've hypnotized him and stuff like that. And so far, at the moment anyway, it doesn't seem to be anything like that. And on the flip side, which is what Phil in the chat room, hey Phil, what up Phil, has just mentioned, is that partnering this comic is another comic called Incorruptible, which is kind of from the other side of the fence where you've effectively got one of the world's sort of great supervillains and he's becoming a good guy or goodish guy. Now, I haven't read any of Incorruptible yet, but what I've been told is that the two kind of cross over, which is good that someone had told me that, because I would have read all of Irredeemable first, but apparently it's you got to read, I think it's the first 3 or 4 volumes, and then you cross over into Incorruptible. But there's a reading list online that I found and stuff, and it's great. The art is lovely. It's a fantastic story with a lot more depth than I thought it was going to be. And I would suggest if you are a comic reader, you should go and pick it up if you have not already done so. Mic drop, meow.
Excellent. I am fairly certain that I've read this, but it was so long ago that I don't remember a single thing about it, but I'm sure I enjoyed it. I'm sure it's great.
Do I start calling you Dory or something?
It may be. I have got a notoriously terrible memory, so yeah, perhaps. Shall I do some more trumpets?
Yeah. Why don't you?
Musical musings.
Okay.
Were you expecting a bit more than that?
Yeah, I was kind of like about to start doing that, and then it was over, which is fine. You know, it's fine. I'll put my shoulders away.
Stuck in your head all day.
I'll put my shoulders away.
Oh.
Musical musings.
Yeah, I'm going to go first just because I'm rude like that. Hey, so Rich and I have been watching, I was going to say rewatching, but that's not the case for me because I didn't watch them to begin with, the like newer Godzilla and King Kong movies in preparation for Godzilla versus Kong, coming to a telly screen probably because cinemas are still closed near you at some point in April, I think. Because Rich was all like, hey, Stace, who do you think is going to win, Godzilla or Kong? And I was like, how am I supposed to know? I haven't seen them. So we watched them all. And gotta say, as much as I think Godzilla's probably going to win because he's got a height advantage and he blows electric nightmares at you.
Yeah.
Kong, Skull Island is rad. Have you seen it, B?
No, so I haven't seen Godzilla. Okay. I think the last Godzilla, there was that sort of remake one. I mean, my Godzilla is still the cartoon, just because. I haven't seen Kong Skull Island because isn't there like giant insects in it?
Okay, so there's one giant spider.
I only need one giant spider, Stace.
Yeah, no, I've got to say, I was quite happy that I was watching it with Rich and he was like, hey, this is the spider part, because I'd already had a very nice spider warning from a friend of the show, Lee Grice. Right. So I was already aware there was going to be spiders in it. I would say I managed to watch the spider scene without turning away too much because they really don't look much like spiders at first because they've got like real long spindly legs, so a lot of the scene is just like spindly bits just stabbing toward people like this. I can't do it because my arms aren't spindly enough, but you only really see the actual proper body of the spider when they've done it a murder and it's fell over near them, so you can look away, it's fine. But I absolutely loved that movie because Kong does not mess around, lads.
Right.
Kong was just like, where's something I can punch? Because I'll punch you. Don't even care.
You want some? Have it.
Yeah. Like, there's a bit where, like, a squid thing tries to attack him and it's, like, got its tentacles around his neck and he just punches it in the head and then it's dead and then he eats it because he's like, I don't give a flipmate. So I was quite taken by that. I kind of want Kong to win now, even though he's at a height disadvantage and a power disadvantage. But anyway, this is Musical Musings. Because we've been watching all of this biz, I was like really digging the soundtracks to all of the films, and Godzilla King of the Monsters has a soundtrack by our good friend and frequent choice for Musical Musings, Bear McCreary. And the song that I've chosen is actually the Godzilla main theme, which is technically a cover of the original one by Akira Ifukube, which I think I've said right, but I'm very sorry if I haven't.
Sounded right.
It sounded good, didn't it?
Yeah.
It sounded like I knew what I was talking about. I used to study Japanese, so I like to think I've got a vague idea of how to pronounce stuff, but anyway. And it is very recognisably the theme of, you know, as soon as you hear it, you're like, right, where's Godzilla at? Stuff's going to happen. Things are going to go down. Where is he? Very good. It's all like brass and then like scary, ominous strings. And yeah, I love it. We can't play it right now because the internet is mean about people playing music, but we do have a Stace and Barry playlist on Spotify that I'm sure Social Media Mike will link to in a bit. I've already on there, so you can have a little listen if you like, but not right now. Listen to us, and then after, you know, or maybe after the whole like SuperPod, because you should keep listening to that anyway. Hey Barry, do you want to say some words because I'm rambling?
I was going to say actually that I've listened to the Godzilla King of Monsters soundtrack, even though I haven't seen the film. Yes, I am aware that we are both slowing down in time.
What's happened?
We're slowing down. Can you still hear me, by the way? Oh. Oh. Can people still hear us? Because I'm getting the impression we've just gone on a massive slowdown. Should I just keep talking? I don't know. Hello? Oh, you can hear me fine. Okay.
Oh no.
No, until Stace comes back on, I will. Can you hear Stace? Can everyone hear Stace? Okay. Stace is. Stace is gone. I'm still here. Okay. I'll keep going. So yeah, I was just about to say that I've listened to the Godzilla King of Monsters soundtrack because I do love a bit of beer, and I really, really enjoyed it. I think it's a cracking sort of soundtrack. I certainly want to check that out. And what Stace was going to say before she broke up was that we have a playlist on Spotify, Stace and Barry playlist. So we collect. Oh, guys, be back. Technical issues, guys, be back soon. So am I off air then? I've just seen that message.
No, you're still there, Barry.
I'm still here. Okay. Wow, no pressure on B. Yeah, so welcome to Barry in the Morning. That's right, Ken. My evil plan has worked. All of this was just to get rid of Stace so I could have my own show. So welcome to the first episode of Barry without Stace in the morning. It's just me, everyone, and I'm living it large. Stace will be back soon. Oh, she's coming back. Stace. There's lots of freezing of screens. So well, I'll just keep going. Yeah, so as I said, we've got our own playlist on Spotify. I'm sure Social Media Mike will be putting the link up to that. So my musical musing is I seem to be going old school at the moment and doing lots of rewatches and stuff. So on Tuesday, me and the missus, we did a rewatch of The Expendables, weirdly, which is the Sly Stallone Statham, all the boys, all together, killing lots of people. And I have to say, I actually really enjoyed it. It's been a long time since I've seen Expendables, and I really enjoyed it second time around. However, what I had forgotten was just how good the soundtrack was. And the soundtrack is done by Brian Taylor. Brian Tyler, sorry, who has done quite a few things, and I believe he did the soundtrack for the Guardians of the Galaxy films. So yeah, I really love his work, and the title that I have picked is called, I think it's called Mayhem. He's just going back to his notes. It's called Mayhem and Finale, which is the last track. And this is the bit in the last 20 minutes where everything just kicks off. Because actually, even though there's action in Expendables, there was less action than I thought there was. And just as we were getting to that sort of part where I was sort of thinking, there seemed to be much going on, suddenly it seemed every 2 seconds someone was getting their head blown off with a ridiculously loud and ridiculously powerful shotgun used by Terry Crews from Brooklyn Nine-Nine fame. So that is my pick for the musical musings. Stace, are you back with us? Are you still frozen in limbo?
I don't know.
I could hear you.
I don't know.
I can hear and see you both.
I can hear you. But
There just seems to be a bit of a lag on your video.
It looks like my connection just keeps dying. And somebody is joking. Oh, okay. Good stuff. I noticed somebody said, Stacey, turn off your Netflix. And I'm like, mate, I've got nothing on up here.
Oh, no.
Okay. Well, as long as you can still hear me, I don't really care about my face.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I care about your stupid face. I'm going to take out the stupid bit. I care about your face,
Barry
but
again.
I can hear you. Oh.
Stacey, if it helps your connection, try turning off your camera and just leave your mic on.
Yeah, good idea. Oh, are you there, Stace? Hello. Barry's face in the morning. See, this is a sort of this is what happens to me. I think it's my power that I just go on podcasts, and it's my sort of power to like end podcasts.
Thanks. Or if I disappeared again.
No, you just if you can, Stace, turn off your. Try turning off your camera. It is off. It is off.
Okay.
In the meantime, while Stace is sorting out her
it won't let me
video.
Turn off my camera. Come on, lads.
In the meantime, while Stace is sorting out her technical difficulties, if anyone's got any like general geek questions they want to throw at me.
I am. Hello.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Oh, this is really sad. I'm so sorry. I really don't know what's going on.
Maybe try leaving, Stace, and coming back on.
And for the sake of not leaving Barry on his own, I'll jump in for a second. He's having severe issues. I think what we were hearing there was stuff that Stacey said a good few minutes ago.
Yeah, I know there was. It was quite. But I've had some questions in now, so I'm happy to tackle some of the questions whilst we're waiting for Stace to come back on. It is not my first rodeo on the podcasting circuit. As some people who've listened to the other podcast I do, Geek Syndicate, I have actually been podcasting since 2006. So yeah, I'm used to technical difficulties, as is Stace, bless her. So first question is, what's your favourite Marvel film? Do you know what? What is weird is my favorite Marvel film is not a Marvel film which is considered to be in the MCU. So my favorite Marvel film is actually Blade. I don't know if I'm allowed to say Blade, whether or not I'm suddenly going to get sued by someone. Because yeah, I absolutely love that film, and I think Blade came out at a time where a lot of superhero films in general weren't really being taken seriously. And I remember when that film came out, and loads of my friends and stuff were kind of saying to me, "Have you seen Blade yet? Have you seen Blade yet?" And I was like, "No, Blade. I never read the comic or anything like that." And one of my friends, he travelled to Northampton to make sure I went to see Blade, because he was so adamant that I needed to go and see Blade. So we went to see Blade, and I remember that opening sequence where he kind of comes into the club, and it's one of the best character introductions I've ever seen, certainly in a superhero film, because those 5 minutes, if you knew nothing about the character, as I didn't, told you everything you needed to know about that character. Because here you literally had, which again is something I hadn't seen before, you had a nightclub full of vampires. There was hundreds of vampires in this nightclub. You've got blood coming down, and this one guy walks in, and suddenly everyone is terrified of this one guy, and he hasn't even done anything yet. He hasn't done any martial arts or anything like that, and it's just awesome. It's awesome. So for me, Blade, great story, great world building, absolutely love that film. Next question. What am I most looking forward to out of the Marvel TV shows? Do you know? I think I know we've got I keep calling it Bucky and the Falcon coming up, because I think that sounds. Sorry, Bucky and the Falcon, because I think that sounds better than the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. That's just me. I'm quite looking forward to that. I'm actually really looking forward to Loki, because just watching the trailer, it just looks a bit like WandaVision. It just looks like they're trying to do something different. So it looks quite irreverent, and I think there's going to be a lot of time traveling and a lot of, I don't know, dimensional stuff. So I quite like the look of it, and I'm really excited about the What If series, which is the animated one, which I think is going to follow on from Loki. I really like the idea of that one, especially the fact that it's going to have Peggy Carter, kind of, what if Peggy Carter was Captain America? Or Captain Britain, I guess. Or what if she took the super soldier serum? So they're the two I'm really looking forward to. In terms of shows in general, what am I looking forward to? I don't know, actually. Interestingly, which was going to be one of my bits of news for this show, was I'd heard that they're doing this show, new line of they took it out to pitch for auction, and it's obviously been picked up now, and it's being developed by the director of John Wick, and that's a fellow called Chad Straczynski, I think, and the film is going to be called Classified. Now, this is a concept. This concept just blew me out of the water. The film is described as a high-octane thriller that was pitched as Die Hard meets Indiana Jones. The story is set inside a top-secret government bunker, the kind that ends Raiders of the Lost Ark. That bunker contains relics covertly recovered during World War II, and they turn out to be more powerful and dangerous than ever imagined. Job done. I'm in. So to recap, you've got the director of John Wick is spearheading this, and effectively it's going to be Die Hard set in the warehouse from the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, which is still one of my favorite endings for a film. I just love the ending because the minute you see the Ark getting taken in, and then it all pans back, and you just see this massive warehouse, and the first thing you wonder is, well, certainly I did when I saw it, was like, what is in the other crates? You know, the fact that you've just got, you know, the Ark of the Covenant, and we've already just had this big set piece of the Ark of the Covenant, and it's just been wheeled away. You just think, what the hell is in the rest of the place? So the fact they're going to set, and I think it got kind of touched on in the fourth Indiana Jones movie. Don't hate me for saying the fourth Indiana Jones movie, even though I quite enjoyed it. But anyway, I'm thoroughly sold in that. And yeah, you're right, Phil. It's got me written all over it. And the fact that no one's really talking about it, I sort of found it this morning. I had to go through quite a few pages and stumbled across it. It's amazing to me. There's also a film being done by Spike Lee, which sounds very, with the name offhand, but it's basically a 19th century gunslinger teaming up with a African princess or African warrior or something, and it's a whole kind of Lovecraftian mythos in there as well, and I really like the sound of that. I can't remember the name of it, but it's definitely been set up as a kind of, I think, could become a series if it's successful as a series of films. So that's some of the things that I am certainly looking forward to. I'm just loving geekdom at the moment. I just think it's kind of, in terms of TV, comics, books, everything, it's a real golden time, because there feels to me like there's something for everyone if you can, you know, take the time to kind of explore it. There's just so much going on at the moment, and certainly what I'm doing comic wise is I'm kind of going back in that I'm not even focusing on all the new stuff that's coming out, because there's a whole raft of comics that I've had on my list for years and years to sort of finally read all of. And now I'm actually starting to get the chance to do it. And so one of the things I want to read, but I'm torn because I know that the Amazon Prime adaptation starting soon is Invincible. Because I did read quite a few issues of Invincible and really enjoyed it. So this is I think it's by Robert Kirkman, and it's a great kind of coming of age superhero story, and it's now been adapted as an animated series, which I think is, again, a really good way to go. So I'm really, really looking forward to that. So anyone else got any questions? Stace, are you back? That would be my first question to Stace, is if she's back. Yes, Ken. Yeah, the classified pitch. Yeah, it does sound great. I'm really looking forward to seeing how they do that one. Also, whether or not it's going to be modern day or not, which is the other thing. I don't know what era it's going to be set in. So I'm looking to see. Oh, we've had there's 75. Oh, 75 quid from donations so far. I don't know if that is from this hour or from in general. I don't know. But whatever the case is, many, many thanks for the donations. As Stace mentioned earlier, we're here to support comic relief. So if you head over to SuperPod, I have got a SuperPod, thank you. superpod.co.uk. You can get all the details that you need, or head over to the hashtag SuperPod3. So this is going to be going on all day. So please, please, please give what you can, because it's for a great and worthy cause. I believe Stacey still having, I think Stacey's still having technical difficulties, which is a shame. Bless her. So I am going to keep on going with my notes. Oh, so one of the things I did want to mention, because we have a section which is Geek All About It, which is like our news section, and obviously I've already mentioned Classified, but one of the shows I've been watching on Disney Plus is the reboot of DuckTales, which I've been absolutely loving. I used to love DuckTales as I don't know how old I was when I was watching DuckTales, but I used to love it. So I was a little bit unsure about going to watch the reboot, but it's been fantastic and it's been a great ride. I'm now on a midway through season 2, and it's been great fun. But they've recently announced that they're doing a podcast, which is going to be called This Duckburg Life. It's a 7-part scripted podcast called This Duckburg Life. It's going to be hosted by Huey Duck, which is who is voiced by Danny Pudi from from Community. That's it, from Community fame. For Duckburg Public Radio, that will highlight the riveting stories from Duckburg. So there's a clip from the first episode knocking about, and the first episode is going to be called Adventure Calls, and it will premiere on. You can listen to it via Disney XD, Disney Now, and the YouTube channel from March the 29th. And yeah, so it's great. It is great, and I really, really do enjoy DuckTales. It took me a little bit while to get into it, just because I came off the back of watching Gravity Falls for the first time, which everyone had told me about, and Gravity Falls completely blew my mind. And I've just been not reminded, but I've just been told that if you live in the UK, which I do, please add gift aid, so the government adds some money on top. Basically, your Comic Relief will get more money for your donation. So please do that if you are based in. Just checking to make sure I haven't been told that. Oh no, still going. So yeah, if anyone's got any last questions, because we're in the last, I think we've got about 5 minutes to go. If anyone's got any last questions, then please drop them to me. Don't let me die on this hill of silence. Okay. Apparently people are you're just gonna let me die on this hill of silence. That's fine. So what can I what else can I talk about? Someone said the Peggy one is really interesting. Yeah. Any comics that you want to reread? I'm sorry, Ken. Yeah, any comics that I want to reread? Yes, I was talking to Dave about this yesterday, actually. Last year I spent the whole year reading all the BPRD comics, which are from Dark Horse. And BPRD is so for those who don't know, it's their spin-off from set in the Hellboy universe, and it's their paranormal. No, it's the Bureau for Paranormal Research and Defense division, and absolutely fantastic comic series, and I would heartily recommend people pick that up. And I basically spent the whole year reading those, and the minute I finished that, my first thought was I want to go back now and start again. But like I said, my reading list is sort of piling up. Plus, I get sent stuff to review from other podcasts, so I need to kind of sit down and make a kind of proper list of what I want to read. And I've done a wish list a bit on the Kindle Unlimited app of what I want to do, so I'm going to be going through that. I think because someone's just asked what I think of David Tennant as Scrooge McDuck in the new DuckTales. I think he's great, to be honest. I think he's really, really good. Sometimes I can tell it's David Tennant, but it's weird because sometimes they're like, oh, it's David Tennant doing an impression of Scrooge McDuck, and other times he completely sucks me in with his performance. So no, I think he's a cracking choice. I think Danny Pudi as Huey Duck is great because I can't hear him when he does that voice. I don't equate him with that voice at all, which goes to show the strength of his performance. And one of the main villains running through season 1, I didn't know was voiced by Catherine Tate. I won't say who she voices. I'll let you find out if you listen to the show. Phil has asked if I had to live in one fictional city place, which one would it be and why? I'd probably say a metropolis, just because that feels far safer. certainly I don't want to live in Gotham. Gotham just looks Gotham looks proper nasty. So I'd probably go for Metropolis because I feel I stand a better chance of survival there. But I'm saying that because that is Superman's home, more of the kind of world-ending threats tend to hit Metropolis first. So it's I don't know. Who would you go? What city would you go for, Phil? If you've got time to answer that question. Oh, am I being given a 5-minute notice? I can't hear you.
There we go. That might help. I've just been talking to Stacey, who sends her apologies. She's also got issues. We have tried multiple things between she and I to bring her back, but it has not worked. The issue appears to be at her end. She's tried rebooting her laptop and all sorts. So apologies from her, and a big thanks to you, and well done to you, Barry, for filling so nicely on your own. I was going to try and jump on earlier and join in, but I've been trying to sort things out behind the scenes. I'll try one more time to bring Stacey in just to say goodbye.
Hello?
Oh, hello.
Oh my God, hello! I'm so sorry. I have no idea what happened. I feel awful.
Don't feel awful, Stace.
Oh, Barry, thank you so much for literally carrying half of that show. I don't know what happened. Had to swap over to the PC rather than the Chromebook because the Chromebook was just like, nah, mate. Chromebook was like, we've had enough for you. Leave the good one, the Barry one on.
No, not at all. Not at all, Stace.
God, I love you, everybody. I'm so sorry.
Don't worry about it. These things happen, as we both know from doing our 24-hour shows.
Yeah. Technology is great when it works.
I was here in this room until 1:30 last night. Had everything perfectly running. Went to bed. Came up back in there in the morning, and Windows had done an update and rebooted the laptop and changed all my settings overnight.
No!
Before we
Perfect.
I could
Absolutely
not
perfect.
stream. So yeah, it was a bit of a run around this morning. So you were not the only ones to have tech issues. I'm sure
I really hope everybody's been donating furiously in the hopes that was my plan, is that I would disappear and everybody would donate furiously in the hopes that would bring me back.
Bring you back,
yeah.
Got another 13 hours to go, and let me refresh my donation total, which currently sits at 70. It's still at £75.
Oh, give us your money, lads! Come on.
Yeah.
I've been through an ordeal now. I feel like I'm going to cry.
Yeah. I don't want to be that guy. So put your hands in your pocket to stop Stage from crying and donate now. That sounds wrong. So have we got time to say goodbye before we?
Yeah, if you want to start wrapping it up, guys. It's only me who's on next, so it doesn't. I will play the sketch from Release the Clowns in just a moment. But if you want to carry on and wrap up, and thank you very much, both of you.
Awesome. Okay. Over to you to wrap up, Stace, because you've
because I've missed off the flipping show. I'm so sorry. Thank you so much to everybody who's been watching and listening and asking Barry questions so that he could literally hold the show whilst I fell over tech-wise. You're all absolute stars. Don't forget to donate at superpod.co.uk. Like I said earlier, I work for a charity, so I know that it's really difficult right now for charities to find new and interesting ways to raise money. But all of the issues that were there, prior to everybody having to stay in their houses are still there and they still need dealing with. So if you've got anything to spare, please do chuck a few coins in. And if you want to hear more from Barry and myself, you can have a listen to some episodes of Stace and Barry in the morning where I don't disappear for 35 minutes. Depends on your preference, you see, whether you prefer solo Barry or not. But
or solo Stace.
Or solo Stace. But you can find that at the Geek Syndicate Network geeksyndicate.co.uk, and you can follow us both on Twitter at Stacey's Parlour and at Geek Syndicate. Have a flipping lovely Saturday, everybody. I'm really sorry again. I'm going to go and have a coffee and a cry. Love you all.
Thanks again, everyone, for listening and sticking with us. And please, please, please donate. It is a very worthy cause. Take care all. Enjoy your Saturday.
Bye.